Look at this chart comparing body mass changes during a standard calorie deficit. On a diet using only the baseline recommended protein levels, a staggering 58% of the weight lost is metabolically active muscle tissue. The body is an evolutionary survival machine. When calories drop, it evaluates which tissues cost the most energy to maintain. Because muscle is metabolically expensive, the body treats it as a liability and deliberately shuts down the engine to conserve fuel. These blue anatomical diagrams show the physical toll of that metabolic decline. As muscle tissue is shed, the resting metabolic rate drops, burning fewer calories every hour and leading to the frail, hunched posture shown on the right. Simply starving the body creates a weaker, lower-energy version of yourself that is biologically primed to regain weight the moment the diet ends. We must understand why the body ignores the protein we eat while dieting and continues to strip down its own muscle tissue. Excess body fat and insulin resistance create metabolic static, a noisy environment blocking cellular communication. As this static grows, muscle tissue becomes functionally deaf to repair instructions. A protein meal that would stimulate growth goes completely ignored by the cells. Until this communication network is repaired and the noise is cleared, the body will continue to cannibalize its own biological engine. Intermittent fasting serves as the first tool to lower this metabolic noise. It gives the digestive system a break, lowers baseline insulin, and helps reset cellular sensitivity. However, standard fasting protocols often lead to muscle stagnation. You can bridge the gap between meals by adding an isolated protein pulse, such as a clear whey drink, early in the day. Because it lacks carbohydrates or fats, this pulse triggers a muscle repair event without disrupting the metabolic benefits of the fast. For whole food meals, the protocol requires a glucose shield. This is where soluble fiber becomes mandatory. Fiber slows digestion, flattening the curve of blood sugar and insulin. This prevents the sharp spikes that drive systemic inflammation, effectively unblocking the mTOR pathway required for muscle growth. Fasting and fiber silence the physiological noise, creating an environment where the body can finally hear the signals to retain its muscle. With the static cleared, the next step is sending a commanding biological instruction to the body to keep its muscle mass. General movement is insufficient for this task. The body requires the specific, severe stress of progressive resistance training. Lifting heavy loads transduces mechanical tension deep into the cell. This signal commands the nervous system to justify the metabolic cost of the muscle, signaling that the tissue is necessary for survival. Look at the middle bar. Doubling daily protein slashes fat-free mass loss from 58% to 30%, overcoming metabolic noise. Igniting synthesis requires 30 to 40 grams per meal. Comparing the third bar, doubling is the sweet spot. Tripling offers no added protection. Protecting the metabolic engine outweighs the short-term inefficiency of digesting this extra protein energy. Combining heavy mechanical tension with high-threshold protein meals creates a dual biological override. It rewrites the body's priorities, forcing it to burn fat while keeping the muscle engine running. The final vulnerability occurs during sleep. Over these 6 to 8 hours, a fasting body often turns to its own muscle tissue for survival fuel. You can block this by consuming a 40-gram dose of casein protein just before bed. Unlike whey, casein clots in the stomach to create a dense matrix, providing a slow, continuous release of raw materials for several hours. This amino acid drip acts as an overnight anti-catabolic shield, providing the fuel the body needs without cannibalizing existing muscle. The complete protocol integrates these steps: lower noise with fiber and fasting, boost the signal with heavy lifting and protein pulses, and shield the tissue overnight with casein. Look at this graph mapping the two paths of weight loss. While standard restriction leads to the vulnerable red zone of sarcopenic obesity, this protocol moves you toward the yellow zone, optimizing muscle mass and physical function. Sustainable fat loss requires mastering these internal biological signals, protecting the metabolic engine that keeps the body lean for life.